Yeah, it's me, Joe the Box, Antifa. I can't stand it. We are here to celebrate Veterans Day, Marine Corps birthday, and Armistice. Tell us about Armistice, KDJ.
Thanks, Joe. It's the armistice, which is actually right now, 11 o'clock a.m. on the 11th day of the 11th month. It ended World War I. Now, I was telling the gang here, everyone knew it was coming, all sides. There was a guy, Private Henry Gunther, from Baltimore. He was from a well-to-do family. He was engaged. One day he wrote a letter home from the front, telling his cousin, don't join the army, this is horrible. And he got demoted for that. He got demoted back down to private, where he is at this point right now. And what happened was, I don't know how many years ago, well, basically there was 30 seconds left to World War I. His fiance had left him because he had gotten demoted, and he just wanted some sort of last-minute glory. So he charged a German machine gun position. They're waving him off, going, no, they're yelling in German, we've got 25 seconds, go, just stop. And he wouldn't, so they had to shoot him. He's the last American to die. He was just either looking to die or looking to impress his fiance. No one knows. The last American to die in combat in World War I, Private Henry Gunther from Baltimore. The house he grew up in is still standing.
Wow.
You know, Kevin Downey Jr., you never cease to surprise me with the wealth of information that you have. And although some of it might be trivial, that's an important aspect to today. At 11/11, on the 11th day of November at 11 a.m. was the ending of the war. And to me, that's fantastic. It reminds me of our great president, Donald Trump, who is the peacemaker out there in the world. Hey, listen, this is the way it is. My veterans, we love you, no doubt about it. My Marines, we love you. All of the Army. We happen to have an Army man here today, Todd Collins. But right to my left, good morning, Lisa Azzarelli. How are you?
Very happy to be here. Hello, America First Patriots. And we wish a lot of love to our veterans, especially throwing out a lot of support. And also today, a happy birthday to my son, Anthony.
Wow, Anthony Azzarelli. Unbelievable. Your little Anthony has grown up.
That's right.
You know who hasn't grown up? Yeah, that's right. Fred Rubino. When are you going to grow up, Freddie?
Happy Veterans Day. I love that story. Actually, since World War I, more people have died in Baltimore than all of World War I. So happy anniversary to the city of Baltimore.
You know, another great wealth of information, these guys that I bring around over here to me. And I really love the way they do a spin on it. We have a new friend to the warehouse. He's a great friend of mine. Him and his beautiful wife, Julianne, have came up this weekend, and they are partners with me at the America First Warehouse. You know, I was hanging out with some other friends of ours, and she was talking about J6. You see J6 behind me. They're visiting us at the warehouse today, too. It's the J6, the real J6. And they had said to me, Joe, all these people promising, and nobody really comes through. Well, this man, Todd Collins, has come through here at the America First Warehouse. We are excited to have him. He's given us an education on the precious metals, or what we like to call God's money, you know, made from the earth. And our government, I don't trust at all, but I do trust in God, and I do trust in this opportunity for everybody, every American citizen. And my friend Todd Collins, not only is he bringing this opportunity to all of us Americans easily, fractional gold, he served our country very well and nobly, and I love him for that. Todd Collins, thank you for coming to the warehouse.
Thank you, Joe the Box. Thank you, American First Warehouse, for hosting us again. This is our second time up here in Ronkonkoma, Long Island, and we've had a blast this time. Again, weather took a little turn for the worse today, but hopefully we can fly out of here this afternoon if the wind doesn't keep us on the ground. But yeah, we are honored to be partnered with American First Warehouse, and really happy to be here today. Thank you.
Yeah, the thing that I love about, you know, it's veterans involved, veterans helping veterans is one way to look at it. At the America First Warehouse, we just love our veterans. And the one quick story I'm going to tell, because I know my mom is going to be watching and listening to this. My dad, the Marine, taught us as a family to respect the country, all right? And he also taught us the Marine Corps hymn. And I don't know if you guys know it. You can sing it with me. Well, Todd's from the Army. They have their own song.
He's not allowed.
Right, to be against code. But you know, the last verse we never knew. My father had all 6 kids march into the Marine Corps hymn. We'd had to march in and out of the car or wherever we were going. It was fantastic. I loved it so much, and I loved him for it. But he never knew all of the words. Now I don't know what it was that he couldn't remember it, you know. But we only had the first verse until this rock band played the Marine Corps hymn for me, and I put it on the van as we went up and down in our rallies, and the words came up, and I couldn't believe it because the last verse to me is the key to success. It's the what I feel about my dad, and it goes kind of like this. When the Army and the Navy arrive on heaven's scene, they will find the streets are guarded by the United States Marines. I love that one, huh?
Yeah, that is great.
Anyway, enough about all the great things that are happening we want to share. We want to do a little bit of news for you, and I always lean on Lisa for the top stories, and we kind of got a little things happening. You want to fill us in and bring us to reality?
Very happy to do so. Okay, Patriots, on the podcast today, honoring Veterans Day first and foremost. We also have the shutdown is over. So not only are we celebrating on Veterans Day, we have the anniversary of the longest budget shutdown in American history, 41 days. Trump versus the judges is another thing we could be possibly discussing today, the battle over who's really running the country. We have Mayor Adams attempting to do what is now being called the Mom Donnie-proof New York City. We're going to take a look at that. What things is he doing to protect the city against a socialist communist mayor? Kudos to Mayor Adams for that. Election shenanigans. Some people are questioning what happened with Mickey Sherrill. She seemingly got the largest turnout vote in history for New Jersey, with an exceptional amount of mail-in ballots again. Also, on the local level, a Huntington town race has caused quite a stir. We're going to take a peek at that also. So stay tuned, listen to what we have going on here, and a lot of great stuff too from our guest, Todd Collins, who's going to tell you more about possibly how to get rich.
I don't know if that's possible in today's American way, but I will tell you this, Todd, and I would like you to elaborate. We got 4 minutes. You came all this way. We have an opportunity to help every American, no matter how wealthy they are or not. We really want to target, the everyday Americans that doesn't have any gold. I have no gold. Todd Collins, do you have gold in your pocket?
I do have gold in my pocket.
Wow. Would you share that gold with us?
I'm not going in his pocket again. He tricked me the first time.
I won't trick you today. Today I'm going to steer you in the right direction. We have partnered with the America First Warehouse. We're a company called Sound Money. We have a Sound Money wallet that allows every American to be able to buy fractional gold and silver. You can buy it in as little as $1 at a time, which fits just about everybody's budget. And if you're not paying yourself first right now, you're just doing the wrong thing. Joe, do you know that we're in a window right now where we're on the edge of a financial reset in this country, and our dollar has diminished so far in value that it's worth today 3 cents of what it was just 100 years ago, the buying power of a dollar. So if you have the ability to buy a little bit of gold and a little bit of silver right now, you can participate in the greatest wealth transfer that's ever going to happen. Gold right now is sitting at about $4,000 an ounce, and silver is at about $50 an ounce. And this window of opportunity I'm talking about, when the financial reset happens, many financial experts, I'm not saying this, I'm just relaying what they've said, that gold could go as high as $30,000 an ounce in this reset, and that silver will go over $1,000 an ounce. So if you're able to buy fractionally right now, you'd be able to participate. And at TAFW, soundmoney.com, you can hop on there right now. One of our experts will be happy to talk to you and give you some education and help you get your Sound Money wallet going, and you can start buying fractionally. And we also offer the highest buyback in the industry when you're ready to sell your precious metals.
Wow.
Now, I heard that due to AI, that there's going to be a technological explosion in the world, and they need silver because that's what makes the connections. And there'll be they thinking silver might quadruple in price due to AI. So Do you know anything about that with the silver and the?
Yep, I do. So a lot of people don't know this, but there's only a few applications for gold. You can use it in artwork and jewelry. A lot of rappers like to stick it in their teeth. There's not many other applicable uses for gold. Silver, on the other hand, is extremely useful in that it's one of the best conductors of electricity, and our cell phones, airplanes, computers, just about everything you can think of that's a battery, a plug, or has an internet connection uses silver to transmit that. As a result, the amount of silver that they're pulling out of the ground right now is being consumed at a very rapid pace. So you're 100% correct. Because of that, silver has a very high upside because of the usability. Just in the next couple of years, I think we're going to see an explosion in silver prices potentially.
They said it might even catch gold.
I don't know that it'll catch gold. So gold's at $4,000 right now, and the forecast is it could go as high as $30,000 an ounce in that reset.
Oh, it's not going to catch gold.
But if gold goes from $4,000 to $30,000, I think that's about a 7 times multiplier, something like that. And if silver goes from a $50 an ounce up to $1,000 an ounce, that's a lot more than a 7 times multiplier. Right. So my personal advice to my friends and my family is to buy a little bit of both. I like to have about a 20% stake in gold and an 80% stake in silver, again, because I see an upside there. And again, I'm only relaying what the experts are saying. I don't give it financial advice. You need to consult with your own expert to determine what you should do for your family.
Yeah, there's many, many wonderful opportunities that TAFWSoundmoney.com will bring to the table for American patriots. And the opportunity and the window is quick, as Todd had said, and we know what's happening with the world and the American dollar. I believe Donald Trump is going to do the right thing for us all the way through, but I believe more in Jesus Christ going to save this country with his gold and silver. America's God's money.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just 2 entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Hey, fellow patriots, it's Cindy Gross here, host of Right for America, from your favorite place, the America First Warehouse. You've seen me show on my show so many products from this country's #1 most patriotic manufacturer with close to 400 products. You need to exchange the products you use in your house to this company and make your dollars count in our country.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, live at the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
My goodness, the power of the Holy Spirit as he moves through here. I just saw some of our new partners and relationships that we've established here at the warehouse, and one of them is the Patriot Travel Group. And I will tell you that I just used the app myself, and I saved about $200 on a one-night stay in West Palm Beach. I'll be down there this Friday. I booked it late, too, which is interesting. So check out My Patriot Travel on the America First website. But today we still want to keep our eye on the mission, and that is to really support and help American patriots get over some of these crises that are coming through. Lisa's biting at the bit. She's got a couple of crises she wants to talk about. Let's talk about the shutdown. I heard it is over. What did it even mean to us, Lisa?
Right. So basically, we had 7 Democrats finally cross the line. It was 41 days, the most ever. However, they did it to Trump also in 2018, 2019, 35-day shutdown at that time, if we recall, and the cause at that time was the border crisis, and that he wanted to build the big, beautiful wall. So, of course, they gave him a hard time about that and wouldn't allow the budget to pass then. Now, the problem is primarily that he is revamping and dismantling, to a large part, wants to dismantle Obamacare with its tax credits. So that was a huge issue in there. But what they do is they pad the bill, and a lot of people don't realize that. They sell it as though it's a one-topic kind of bill, and the truth is there's a lot of stuffing in there, and not the good kind like you eat on Thanksgiving Day. This type of stuffing will spoil your stomach because it's for items that many Americans, whether religious belief-wise or their own personal values, civil liberty-wise, would completely disagree with. And it deals with sending a lot of money to other countries or other issues that don't really benefit America. And so they wanted those out of the bill, and that became an issue also of contention, a bone of contention. But the predominant one, without a doubt, was the Obamacare. And Trump recently made a statement that removing the insurance companies from the equation would be the best benefit. Give the money directly to the people that need it and let them select their providers. This is on the table now. They passed it for the time being, but I think the Obamacare is only until about January. They're going to reevaluate that again.
What a waste that they do for us. I mean, they just waste our money like drunken sailors.
Right.
I can't believe it.
Right.
Well, being a Sicilian American, I know about laundering money, and all of these programs, when you send it overseas, are meant to launder money and come back to all of the Democratic hopefuls and all of them that have voted to send the money, because it comes right back. They do not want any programs that say this amount of money goes right here. It's always cloudy. It's transgender studies in West Africa.
Right.
You know, try and trace that. They can never do it. So that's why they love to do those programs.
It's shrimp running on a freaking treadmill, you know, for $2 million. I haven't had that kind of shrimp. My shrimp are in good shape. What do you think about yours, KDJ?
My shrimp have no comment whatsoever.
But your clams are steamed.
My clams are constantly. That's great. Well done, sir.
And what's steaming them these days?
Well, I'll tell you, what's steaming them is, I mean, I'm glad this is over, but it didn't have to happen.
Right.
So there's something called a continuing resolution. Rather than, rewrite the whole package, just say, let's do what we were doing. It's a continuing resolution. Everyone agrees. And they've done that 7 times. But this time, Schmuck Schumer said, nope, we got to stop doing that. That's not going to work anymore. And he held out for 40-some days. And now it's back to normal. But a lot of people haven't been paid. A lot of people are cranky. A lot of people have steamed clams out there. And I think this one's going to cost him. I think this is where I think this is all on him. I think this is the one that chases him out of office.
The end of Schumer?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I really do. It's just disgraceful. And honestly, I'm pretty upset myself as an American citizen. How do I get some of these SNAP programs? Because, they're giving it to 41 million people. I know I was listening to the Book of Theologians today, Todd, and you can confirm this for me, as I was listening coming in, and it really says, go out and work. Go out and earn your meals. Go out and get you got to work for it. It's not going to be handed because the ones that sit and get it handed to them will be, not in good God's favor. All right, and I know that. I just feel like we're in a great direction with the country. And we got a lot of time left over here, Todd. Before the end of the segment, I want to come back to you because I know that 95% of the people don't have any gold and silver opportunities, and that really puzzles me so much. But this shutdown that is over, I'm glad it's over. I mean, I feel like whatever works for Donald Trump, he's a businessman. He's not a politician. I mean, look at this, what came out. There's some truth now. Anybody familiar with Maxine Waters?
Yeah.
Yes.
What a beautiful woman she is, huh?
Yeah.
Now, she has been taken from millions and millions of dollars. She got snagged with it today. I read something about it. KDJ, you know anything about this?
I know that she lives in a $4.5 million mansion, and she makes $178,000 a year. And now, no one really knows where she got the money. But we do know that Nancy Pelosi beat Warren Buffett by like 178% playing the market. And that's where they think Maxine got her cash as well. I also think Maxine has probably taken money under the table from various NGOs. The way an NGO works, non-governmental organization, let's say Joe and I are crooked. So he's in charge. He's the local bigwig politician. And I got this NGO. It's called Save the Muskrats. Because we got to save all the muskrats on Long Island. He goes, that's a great idea, KDJ. You need $2 million per year. And he gives me $2 million per year. I kick back some to him. I make some posters that say help the muskrats, and we all live happily ever after. But that's the way a lot of these politicians are getting money. They're starting NGOs. Bernie's son and wife have one. And it's the same thing, Save the Tree Sap or something. And they say, hey, everyone, we got a rally tomorrow to save the tree sap. And then they keep the rest of the money. So I think that's how she got some of her dough.
Yeah, what an absolute disgrace. They all are pretty disgraceful. Freddie, how about you? You got a lot of money in the bank, don't you?
Yes. No, I lost all my money. I invested in gluten, and now so that's all gone.
Do not take financial advice.
No,
from
don't
Freddie.
take. Don't take. But I hope Maxine Waters is saving up for a facelift because that's going to be a lot. That's a lot of face to lift.
They don't have a crane big enough to help that.
But this is what we're seeing across the board, is that a lot of these politicians come in, like AOC, and they basically have no money in their savings account, and within 2 years, they're suddenly multimillionaires. Yeah. It's an interesting trend.
Another big payout for these things is the book deal. All right. So when AOC first got elected, they said you need a book deal. That she got a $5 million book deal. Now, how do they get the money? Well, way up here, you've got your Black Rocks and your State Streets and whatnot, and they own this publishing company, or they own Netflix. Remember, Obama's big payout was $100 million from Netflix to come up with programming, which they know nothing about. This is another way they pay these people off. That's how AOC got her first taste of
They're all ridiculous, and the truth is going to come out. But we got a couple of minutes left for Todd Collins, who I think is important for us to, number one, understand why only 5% of Americans own gold and silver. Why is gold and silver important for me to have? I know I want it for diversifications. And how easy is it for us to buy and purchase gold? Do I have to move my whole 401k? Do I have to dive down the Bering Sea and swim 20 yards, move some rocks and get some gold? Or maybe Niagara Falls, or even the tundra in Alaska. These are things that I don't want to do, Todd.
Well, good news, you don't have to. I know one of the missions that the American First Warehouse has is to help all patriots prosper. And right now we have an opportunity in this country because of how high inflation is, because of all the millions, trillions of dollars that they've printed in currency over the last few years. That bodes well for precious metals. Any economic uncertainty, geopolitical uncertainty, there's a flight to safety with gold and silver, which is why that window I mentioned a little while ago is open right now. So if you guys can just go to the TAFW, soundmoney.com. Look into getting yourself a membership that allows you for the rest of your life to be able to buy gold and silver fractionally from our company. You will be one of the percentage that goes outside of that 5% that currently owns gold and silver. The reason why, Joe, that 95% of Americans don't is because of those barriers to entry we keep talking about. It's very expensive to get involved in gold or silver in the past. It's very hard to liquidate it, very hard to insure it. How do you store it at your house? And the Sound Money wallet with the vault that we have has solved all those problems because you can buy fractionally, you can store it in the vault for free, we can ship it to you at your home if you want to hold it, and when you're ready to turn it back into cash, we offer the highest buyback in the industry. So go right now to tafwsoundmoney.com and get yourself a Sound Money wallet and become part of the next 5% or the next 10% of Americans that are going to participate in this wealth transfer.
I love it, Todd. KDJ, you're biting at the bit. You want to take a bite of one of his gold coins?
Todd, I want to ask you something. First, thank you for your service here on Veterans Day.
Thank you.
Number two, I was reading big with the South Asian community. They buy gold and they take it home, but then they get robbed because everyone knows they're doing it. And people are getting shot and killed. On a scale of 1
No
to 10, how
comments.
stupid is it to buy gold bling and say, well, I'm going to store this at home and everything's going to be fine?
Yeah, it's not real bright. I don't care where you live. If you've got friends and family that know you have silver and gold in your home, likely story, someone's probably going to figure out how to come take that away from you.
Yeah.
In a lot of countries, including America back in the day, it became illegal and is illegal in a lot of countries to hold physical gold and silver. That's another great reason why our Sound Money Vault is the way to go. You can store it there. You can let it appreciate. When you want to liquidate it, you can do so. You don't have to take that risk of having it in your home and being part of an unpleasant experience in the middle of the night some night.
Right.
Yeah, we're really, Kevin, looking to make this a positive experience for everybody. But I'll tell you what, and it's a great question, and I have the answer for you. It's called the Second Amendment. And you want to come into my house and take my gold, you better expect to hear this sound. Chick, pow! And it can come in any size.
It was upside down. It said WAP. I got offended.
Yeah, Freddie's going to come in and protect us.
Hey, come on.
God bless America. This opportunity is coming around here. We're on the cusp. The window is here. TAFWsoundmoney.com.
You noticed your money just doesn't stretch like it used to? Your paycheck feels lighter, and your savings aren't growing. The culprits? Inflation and increased money supply. They've both been quietly eating away at your purchasing power for years. Today, the dollar's value has dropped significantly. You feel it every time you spend money on goods and services. Back in 1965, $1 or an ounce of silver could buy you a gallon of milk. Fast forward to today. That same dollar barely buys a couple of coffee creamers, while an ounce of silver would get you 8 gallons of milk. Gold and silver have held their value for centuries. If you had 2,500 ounces of silver back in 1965, you could buy a brand new Ford Mustang. Today, 2,500 ounces of silver would buy you 2 Mustangs. Similarly, in the year 2000, 628 ounces of gold would buy a new $170,000 home. Today, 628 ounces would buy you a $2,500,000 home. The problem? 95% of Americans don't own physical gold or silver. They think it's too complicated and too expensive, but it doesn't have to be. We offer a membership program that allows you to buy gold or silver with as little as $1. You can buy fractional amounts, safely vault them, or have them delivered to your doorstep, and you can liquidate them whenever you want at the highest buyback price in the industry. Ready to protect your wealth and keep your purchasing power? Scan the QR code or go to tafw.soundmoney.com to learn more.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, live at the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
It's me, Joe the Box.
And I'm John the Blanket with the America First podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome to Right for America. Issues that unite, don't ignite.
I'm James Justice. We got Stephen Ruth over here. What are we doing, Steve? Fighting!
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone. We live stream every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. right here from the America First Warehouse, the most patriotic venue in all the land.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Welcome to Liberty's Cage, the podcast tearing down the walls of America's broken justice system.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
Welcome to Suffocating in Suburbia with me, your host, Stevie GB.
Whoa, what's going on? I am blown away. I was watching the podcast, the people that are coming here to the America First Warehouse and sharing truth. It'll only be a matter of days. We will have our app, the America First Media and Television app that you can download onto your phone. We're going to be able to produce shows, one right after the other. And we have a special person that stepped in today, Shane Jenkins. Shane Jenkins is the original J6er. He has pretty much organized the men and women of the J6, and he's a platinum recording star as well. And this kind of blows my mind because I've heard him singing. And I don't know how he got it, but, he's going to sing us a couple of tunes now. Shane was arrested early in January 6th. He did his time. Donald Trump pardoned him. And you see him now at the Patriots, our podcast on Wednesdays, Justice for All. And we're working with Shane in many, many ways to bring the truth out and support our J6 prisoners and J6 hostages. And this might shock you, too. I think there are still J6 prisoners in jail. Shane, how you doing? Welcome to the America First podcast.
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Joe. It's always a pleasure to be here. If you haven't been to the America First Warehouse, you got to come check it out because it's definitely the place to be. I'm always come up here, have a blast. They show us such a good time.
Turn your mic on too. He's so good at this. I've been here so many times. Well, honestly, it's not your fault because the person that exited shut that microphone off because he probably pays electricity at home and he understands the expense. So Shane, you're back with us. Well, I was reading your lips. You said you love the America First Warehouse, but you're a J6 prisoner, man. Our government did you wrong. You were angry, ain't you?
No, I'm not. I feel like God allowed me to be where I was that day and go through the experiences that I experienced. And just like every story, for the most part in the Bible, a lot of them have some rough spots in it, but God pulls you through, and I just know that He is real. He is a living God, and He was with us the whole way. And I didn't enjoy all the days I spent in there, but I'm thankful that I got to go through it, and I would do it all over again. And let's not forget, you just said that there are people still locked up. Dan Wilson is a January 6er who was pardoned by President Trump, who is still in the custody of the Federal Bureau of Prisons because the judge in his court decided that the precedent that had been set for all the other J6ers didn't pertain to him and left him in jail. And so there's also about 14 people who haven't been pardoned. They've been only commuted, which means they still have felonies on their record. They're still unable to get their VA benefits. They're still unable to operate in the employment world. They're not able to get work. Some of them have medical licenses. Some of them have things that they're not able to do because of the restrictions that they have, because they're felons still. And we're still trying to get this to President Trump. After how many months we've been out? 10 months. There's still people walking around unpardoned and not made whole. I mean, nobody's won a lawsuit. Nothing has changed. We're all just out here trying to put our lives back together, and it's been supremely challenging.
Allegedly, KDJ was there at January 6th. Allegedly.
Allegedly. I mean, AI could have faked those videos of me in the Capitol. You know what? I never got arrested. They came sniffing around, and I had to liquidate a 401k for $60,000 for two lawyers, one for me and one for my fiance. And I don't know what happened. Maybe they had bigger fish to fry. But eventually, they just, we were on a list. We were on a to-do list, a to-convict list. But Trump won before that could happen. And so...
so I imagine your legal fees you'll be paying for the rest of your life because, that sounds like you got off with a good deal, $60,000. Right. Your attorney must suck. Ready?
All I know is the last guest had this great deep voice. This guy's got a voice like a radio star, and I'm over here. I sound like Joe Pesci over here. Hey, what are you doing here? Didn't I just tell you to go? Can't you have a squeakier guest?
No, we need a man's man over there, and that's who Shane Jenkins is. But really, I mean, Lisa, these people, these poor American patriots that gone through what Shane has come, and you were talking about earlier in some of the news things, the judge's lawfare.
Right.
This is ridiculous.
Right. And so we're seeing this right now. It still carries over from what took place from the J6 time. It's become more apparent that the judges are exactly what Joe said. They're activist judges and engaging in a type of lawfare. So, Shane, 46 and a half months. I mean, God bless you.
Much of it in solitary.
That is just unbelievable. And you sit here before us and you have a smile on your face and you say, God brought me through this. And I noted to him before that he has a nice tattoo to his mama. Mama tried on his neck. So if my son, today's your birthday, if you wish to get a tattoo for your mama, I'm just saying. I might let that one go. But, when you release, now it's a difficult struggle to regain, right, for all of them to regain your life in society again. And so what do you do to help those and others like you?
Well, I will say, I just want to give you a little backstory on that. One of the guys that I know very closely, a friend of mine, I won't say his name, but he went home and he had been gone almost 4 years, and it was like he said, they had already buried me. And it was like my ghost was showing up at the front door, and his wife had already basically closed her heart off and moved on. When he would sit at the dinner table with his kids and his wife, it was like they had buried him, and they didn't really know how to have a conversation with him. So we understand those. I mean, that hurts my heart to hear that. For somebody who stood up for what they believed in for this country, when we watched the election be stolen, just went to go protest, got caught up in the mix, and now he's suffering and his family's suffering as a result. But what we do is we have emergency funding. We do many different things. We help people repair their credit. We'll help provide health care for people. We're also doing emergency funding. A lot of guys sometimes oh, hey, I'm short of my rent this month, or electric bill's not going to get paid. I lost my job. They found out I was a J6 or whatever it was. We just try to stand in the gap with these people. There's such a need. On our website it says, pardoned, now what? Because we are pardoned, and most of us are suing the federal government, but that's going to take potentially years, and people are just not operating in a place that they're used to. And not to mention that solitary confinement has messed people up. There's a lot of emotional and mental trauma, and I think just being one of the leaders in the J6 movement, being in there and just having an opportunity when guys call, hey man, I'm having a really hard time, I'm having a bad day. Being there, just doing that is the most important thing to me. But we need funding. We need to pay. Sarah needs a paycheck. She's not even getting paid from the foundation. So we've got to try to raise money to be able to meet these needs and to just serve these people. And it is Veterans Day today. I'll say 72% of all January 6ers are veterans, first responders, former law enforcement, EMTs, whatever. So it's a very close, near and dear deal for our veterans, and we strive to fight for those people as well.
Those are amazing statistics to know that the people who are on the front line during J6 are frontline people in their whole life. And so where and how can our viewers do more for you? Is there a website that they can possibly donate to?
Yeah, I'm going to jump on that a little bit, because right behind Shane's big fat head is the Stand in the Gap logo. Now we blocked the whole thing. But Stand in the Gap is the organization that came about to really support the J6 prisoners. And I met Sarah, who will be here at the in the last segment of the day to really bring it home for us. And these are patriots that were affected by January 6th. Sarah was too. Her husband was arrested. He was a sheriff. And now she's out. And it reminds me of my dog. Not necessarily, I don't mean to say it this way, but here's what I want to say. Shane Jenkins, you remind me of my dog in the morning. I come downstairs, and there he is in the cage. He wants to get out. I'm imagining that once they opened the cage on you, you pretty much ran wild.
No, and you say that jokingly, but imagine 2 years of solitary confinement.
No,
if you
I
left
can't.
your dog in the kennel for 23 hours a day and let it out 1 hour a day, when it comes out, it's going to be running and jumping all over things. It's going to be pooping and peeing everywhere, and then what it's going to do is it's going to run back in that cage. And there was days that I had a really rough day when I got out, and it was like, I almost just wish I could be back in that cell again, because I don't have to worry about the worries of the world, and it's a sad place to be. And I know many of the men and women feel the same way. There's just something that has fundamentally changed, and I don't know what's going to fix it. I don't think throwing a dump truck full of money, like millions of dollars from a lawsuit, is going to help. I don't know. I wish I knew what the answer was. I think it's finding peace in God's word in Christ, but I don't know. That just hasn't found me yet.
I'm glad to hear that there was no leg humping going on.
No.
Because
leg breaking.
But you know what? That's the trauma that you always hear about people who go to jail and are prisoners and stuff. That's the trauma that, like he said, it can't be bought. And that's why it's one of the most heinous crimes this government has ever done against its citizens.
That's right.
You know what I did? Every night I would stay awake until 7 a.m. because I just figured, well, they're coming to get me. They've made that pretty clear. And so I couldn't sleep. And I would sleep for a couple of hours and then go about the day. But I realized when it was all over, you know what really made me sad is I felt something that I didn't recognize anymore, and that something was peace. And you just said peace. And I started sobbing. It's like, oh my God, that's peace, and I don't recognize it. And I didn't even go to jail. I was just sitting there waiting every night. Or I'd get in my car and drive around, see if I'm getting staked out or whatnot. That was terrifying too. Nothing what you went through, but when you said peace, I was like, yeah, that's 100%. I forgot what peace felt like.
Well, I want to acknowledge I have friends that I met. Actually, I had a layover on the way to D.C. for January 6th, and I met a family there. Wonderful family. The mom is a nurse practitioner, does holistic medicine. One of the daughters works with her. Anyways, they lived in terror for the 4 years that I was locked up, just in fear. And I feel you're just a regular citizen going to a protest, and then now you've got to spend $60,000 on attorneys, preparing for lawfare, and then now you have these other people that deleted their phones, threw their phones in the trash, and restarted their life because they're terrified. They didn't do anything on January 6th, but they're afraid of what the federal government is going to do.
The last thing we want to do is terrorize anybody. But Kevin Downey, we have a special guest for you coming in. It's Officer Green from the FBI. He's been looking for you. He'll be here after the break.
I've been saying allegedly.
You've worked hard and saved, but inflation and increased money supply are eroding your buying power. Protect and grow your wealth with physical gold and silver. Sound Money. With a Sound Money wallet, your wealth stays in your control. Buy fractionally, vault securely, ship directly, and instantly liquidate your gold and silver at the highest buyback price in the industry. Real money, real ownership. Visit tafwsoundmoney.info or scan the QR code and start securing your financial future today.
The America First Ultra MAGA store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA store.
Live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, live at the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
Corporate transfer, fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
America, the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country. Here we are back at the America First Warehouse. I am blessed and honored to have Stand in the Gap founder and creator Sarah Maccabee with us. Sarah has firsthand knowledge and experience of the J6 community, and this is what I love. I had an opportunity to sit with her for a few hours last night, and the knowledge and information. We talked about the judges, and I mean, in one particular that really bites me, that steams my clams, is this Bozeberg guy who continually tries to hurt Trump, but he really hurt a great friend of ours on Long Island, Sarah Carpenter, as he put her, the Jesus-loving, tambourine-playing J6er. Kevin, this is why I think you're going to go away for years, because she had done about 3 or 4 years with a tambourine and a rosary bead. So, I mean, I can't imagine what they're going to do to you when they get you. But the truth comes out here at the America First Warehouse through great organizations, and this one we have here is Stand in the Gap. And Sarah Maccabee, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, why it's happening? And we at the America First Warehouse are pushing support for that, and I will tell you that you get 100% of whatever I collect for Stand in the Gap, because we think what you're doing is so great. Tell us about it, please, Sarah.
Well, thanks for having us on and for always giving us a voice, because that's truly the very beginning of Stand in the Gap, was to give these individuals a voice, because nobody wanted to touch them. So we just advocated for them. We sent out newsletters to people. We got on Twitter Spaces, and they called out from jail to tell their story from their own mouth, because we know how the mainstream media has pushed this for far too long. And then, just based on their treatment, they didn't get visits for 2 years. And finally, congressional member Troy Nels went in there and said, hey, I ran a jail for 8 years, and even people on death row got visitation. What do you mean? This is the only pod in this jail that doesn't get visitation. So 2 or 3 days later, they reinstated visitation for these individuals, but it was on a Friday at 3 o'clock for 1 hour. And these January 6 defendants were from everywhere. So they had to take off work on Thursday and Friday, take their kids out of school, fly from wherever they were at, pay for hotels, transportation, food, all of it. And so overnight, we launched a program called Operation Love Wins, and we reunited families. I believe we reunited about 75 families during that process, paid for everything. They didn't have to think of anything except for ask off for work and show up at the airport. And then shortly thereafter that, speaking of these judges and these prosecutors, it was a 99.6 conviction rate for January 6 defendants. And so you knew you weren't getting out alive. And these people spent their entire life saving, cashed out their 401ks because what do you think, this justice system? You go get a really good attorney. Even if you did something wrong, that really good attorney will find a loophole and you'll be off, right? Well, that didn't happen. And so they sold their houses, spent their life savings to get these really good attorneys, lost at trial. Well, now what? Now they have no money for an appellant attorney, because in Washington, D.C., you have the district court where they were charged. Then you have the appellant court. Well, the third one is the Supreme Court. And we knew ultimately that these cases need to go all the way to Supreme Court for case law, because we've always said it wasn't about the last 4 years, it's about the next 250. And they operated this way because of the policies, because of the laws in place. And so we started to fund appellant attorneys. And then we started to prepare for their release, because we believed that President Trump was going to do what he said. But I will say, everything that we did over the last 3 years for January 6 defendants, the need now, since they have been out, is greater than the need when they were in, because you kind of got used to, you knew you were only going to be able to live on one income, you knew you were going to have to be mom and dad, you knew that the holidays were different, you got used to all of that, and then all of a sudden you throw this person back literally, like, they're back in your life again immediately. Just like Shane was talking about, the families and stuff had moved on. And so now you have the emotional damage and the mental trauma of what they went through the solitary confinement and all of that. The physical, there is not good health care in jail at all. So people still have broken bones. And, and then after, there was a gentleman named Bart Shiley who was a Marine, speaking of Veterans Day. Yep. And he was supposed to get cancer. He had stage 2 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma from Camp Lejeune, and he was supposed to have cancer treatment. Well, the judge threw him in jail the day before he was supposed to start treatment, and threw him in jail. I believe he was in jail about 18 months, and then that escalated because he didn't get the treatment that he got some treatment, but not what he should have gotten. And when he got out, the judge literally released him because the judge said, "I don't want you to die on my watch." So they let him out of jail early, and when he got out, he had stage 4 cancer. And he passed this, I believe it was in July that he passed. And so thankfully, because of the American support, we were able to pay for his funeral because his family didn't have the money, and we were able to get January 6 defendants there. But the need now is greater than before because the government has done nothing to help these people. It's still the American people that are stepping up and doing their part.
That's right. Well, you know who's going to help us? The American people are going to help us. The warehouse is on the front line for you. We love Mickey and Nicole and Tammy. They ran the Freedom Corner down there, and that's where I first met you, Sarah, down there in Washington, D.C. We, the American people, are going to step up. I think there's some major things are happening. God is going to reveal the truth in many, many ways, and we want to help you in every way that we can. So thank you for that. But the reason why January 6th happened was in election integrity, right? They stole election from us. They stole the presidential, and it goes right down the line. And I think this is very interesting. And tell me, if what you guys think about it. But Lisa, I understand it was some joke. Huntington, my backyard. I love this place. What was the joke with the election this Tuesday that went by, Election Day?
All right, so we continue to have these massive issues with election integrity or election fraud, and we saw it yet again with a local town supervisor election in Huntington, and apparently the Democrat lost, and even though that may, make many of the Republicans feel like, okay, it's good, we really still have to look at what took place because you do want to go forward making sure that your elections are fair. And so there was a candidate on the ballot, a Maria Delgado, approximately 80 years old, Spanish-speaking, who was not really on the ballot. So the independents had her down, and when the news went to go speak to her, because she had a great kind of turnout, I think she took approximately 3% of the vote.
She took the whole cleaning lady vote.
The whole cleaning lady vote came in for her.
Lawn care vote went to her.
They went to speak to her. Then they learned that she doesn't speak English. Her daughter had to translate for her. Maria never knew that she was even a contender or that she was on the ballot. She is a purported Republican to begin with, not even an independent. And so this was very peculiar. The Democrat had originally had both lines. He had the Democrat and the independent lines, and then they primaried him and with Maria, who never showed up for a primary, just a name, and then she lost on the independent line, and supposedly the independents claimed that Maria won the primary, and so then Maria took that portion of the votes. The town supervisor, the incumbent at Smythe, won only by approximately 640 votes. So the almost 11 or 1,200 votes that Maria took could have swayed the election, and this is causing controversy.
All over the place, everywhere I turn. You don't want to know a big one? How about this New Jersey baloney? KDJ, you're involved with a little bit of that. You know what's going on with New Jersey?
I do. Jack Ciattarelli got 150,000 more votes than he got when he ran last time. But he still lost by 12 points. How is that possible? How is it? And now, a lot of times the pollsters get it wrong. No one can get it wrong this badly. Everybody got it wrong. What happened was there were over 500,000 more votes that came in, and 420,000 from 2 counties alone. Now, New Jersey hasn't added 500,000 new voters since the last election. No one can explain where these votes came from. No one can explain why those 420,000 votes and I'll tell you, I knew right away, Hudson County. I used to live in Hudson County. When I got divorced, it's 99% Hispanic, 1% white guy with bad credit because he's going through a divorce. That was me. And I tell you right now.
Vote Delgado.
Vote Delgado. I think they're squeezing illegal immigrants into that in Passaic County. And remember, in these blue toilet states, all you need is a driver's license, and they will get you to vote. And I think if they do an audit, they're going to find that Mikey Sherrill got clown slapped by Jack Chittarelli because everyone had him winning. Everyone.
No doubt about it. And speaking about slapping, our J6 has been slapped for the same reason. We went down there because Trump asked us to. Freddie, you were down there too, weren't you?
I was never down there.
Fake news.
That's fake news. But unless there's a settlement, then I was there. I wore horns. I had the big hat with the horns.
I snuck Freddie onto the Elks Lodge election for Grand Poobah. He doesn't even know he's in it, but he's going to win.
Me and Delgado.
Amazing. Very, very sad. We got a minute and a half left. I want to come back to Sarah just for a second, and I want to thank her again for everything that she's done. Can you tell us how you got involved with the Freedom Corner and my friends there with Ashley Babbitt's mom with a minute and a half left?
Yeah, so Ashley Babbitt's mom, Mickey Withoff, Nicole Reffett, who is Guy Reffitt's wife, who was one of the first ones arrested, and his son actually turned him in, recorded him in his own home, and so very heartbreaking stories, and these women rose to the occasion. And Mickey had a dream one night that Ashley came to her and told her that there were individuals in jail for January 6th because she had no idea. She was just living in her own grief. And so she picked up from San Diego and moved to Washington, D.C. And every night, whether it was snowing, raining, beautiful out, cold, hot, they stood on the corner from 7 to about 9:30. The guys would call out on her phone and people would live stream. Thousands of people would watch. And they sang the national anthem every night at 9. And so she gave them a voice. And she still to this day is involved in giving people a voice because what happened to her daughter is an atrocity, and they have still not got justice either. And so that's what Stand in the Gap. We have so many different things that we do, but one is to fight for justice for those that lost their lives that day.
You are an angel sent from God, Sarah, and so are my great friends, Mickey. I look forward to seeing her again on January 6th. We have some great things happening down in Washington, D.C., and back here at the America First Warehouse. Look for it. Stand in the Gap. Go online. Look at that code, and let's check it out and help them.